This is the Convene podcast. The Austin Convention Center has set its sights on becoming the first zero-carbon convention center certified by the International Living Future Institute. Will this be the greenest convention center on the planet? Written and read by Barbara Palmer, Deputy Editor of Convene.
The standards set by the International Living Future Institute, ILFI, Zero Carbon Certification Program are some of the most stringent and ambitious in the world. Living Future's aim is not just to create energy-efficient structures, which reduce the environmental cost to operate them, but are a positive force for climate response. To date, 122 buildings around the world have registered as having followed ILFI's zero carbon certification standards, but only 10 have been certified, including the Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle. It's a high bar, said Leo DaCosta, a principal at the Seattle-based LMN Architects, which is designing the redevelopment of the Austin Convention Center now underway in Texas. LMN is designing it along with Page, a global architecture and engineering firm, and the $1.6 billion project, scheduled to open in 4 years, is planned as the first zero-carbon convention center in the world, DaCosta told Convene. Once open, buildings must undergo a year-long verification process by a third party in order to achieve the certification. ILFI, now based in Seattle, was launched in 2009 by Cascadia Green Building Council, now the Cascadia Green Building Coalition, a British Columbia-based nonprofit. One of the things that sets the Living Future Institute certification standards apart from other programs, including LEED, is that the zero carbon certification considers the greenhouse gas emissions associated with all aspects of a building and its materials, including the extraction of raw materials, their manufacture, their transportation, use, and disposal, which is also referred to as embodied carbon. According to the World Green Building Council, buildings and construction are responsible for 39% of global energy-related carbon emissions. Of this, 11% is attributed to materials and construction processes. The remaining 28% comes from operational emissions like heating, cooling, and powering buildings. Among the requirements of the Living Future Institute's zero carbon certification is that buildings reduce embodied carbon emissions by 20%, a goal that the Austin Convention Center project designers will help meet by reusing materials from the existing convention center that they're replacing. We're really familiar with that project, its materials, and its structural design, said Josh Coleman, design director and principal at Page. Page was founded in Austin in 1898, and the company designed the convention center that opened in 1992, as well as a subsequent renovation. That really gave us a leg up in trying to figure out what materials that we can deconstruct from that building and reuse in the new facility, Coleman told Convene. Some of the materials that will be reused will be visible, such as an expanse of sunshades that are made of blue glass and bat-shaped bicycle racks, but others will not, including 60-foot-long steel trusses that will be part of the new building's structural system. Construction of the new center, which will almost double the size of the previous center, will use low-carbon materials that are sourced as close to downtown Austin as possible. For example, the trusses that will span a column-free 47,000 square foot ballroom will be made of mass timber, a load-bearing building made from layers of wood, which in this case will be southern yellow pine, a species native to Texas. The Living Future Institute's zero carbon certification guidelines require that new buildings operate using renewable rather than combustion based energy. One of the things that the convention center is committing to is all electric operations, including in the kitchen, DaCosta said. The center plans to purchase carbon free energy through the city owned Austin Energy's Green Choice program, he said. In September 2021, Austin City Council adopted the Austin Climate Equity Plan, which includes the goal of reaching net zero community wide greenhouse gas emissions by 2040. Although the Living Future Institute standards are strict, the project has applied for and received one exception to the no combustion requirement. We're getting a cultural accommodation for our outdoor wood-fired barbecue, Coleman said, because the convention center needs to serve barbecue in Austin. They've acknowledged that's a part of our culture, and we thought that was cool. The redevelopment of the convention center offered designers a chance to rethink the convention center site in relationship to the rest of downtown, DaCosta said. Where the existing center occupied 6 full blocks of the city's footprint, the new design will break up the previous big box profile into distinct blocks that reconnect the city's grid and reflect the flavor and culture of Austin's surrounding neighborhoods. That includes making a connection through outdoor terraces and walkways with Waller Creek, which traverses downtown Austin and touches the convention center's east side. The creek channel, once heavily eroded by floods, has been reconstructed, restoring habitats for wildlife, native plants, and trees. The creek is part of the Waterloo Greenway, an ongoing project that is creating a 1.5-mile-long chain of parks and public space downtown. The design aimed at creating something that felt more seamless, DaCosta said, so you don't have a big transition between what they're doing on the Creek project side and what we're doing on the convention center side. The idea was to provide that sense that there's a natural environment here that continues around that edge of the creek, almost as if it is part of one big experience. And being that this is Austin, where we get a lot of hot weather and our sun is really strong, Coleman said, all those choices work really well too with the solar orientation. It's a little bit cooler, a little bit more hospitable on the east side than on the west side where we get that late afternoon hot sun. Obviously, we have very high sustainability goals, so we're really trying to think about all these things together as we make decisions.
Remember to subscribe to the Convene podcast on your favorite listening platform to stay updated with our latest episodes. For further industry insights from the Convene team, head over to pcma.org/convene. My name is Maggie. Stay inspired, keep inspiring, and until next time.